I would like to first say happy Valentine's Day. Create some wonderful new memories with the one you love, and that's whoever you love, okay? Your children, your family, your husband, your wives, your extra special other half, your snookies, your pets, your little other children, fur babies. So happy Valentine's Day. And so I'm going to get out of the way. This is Phyllis Nash, your Chief Sales Officer here at Akana, one of the four co-founders. Real happy to always be in front of you with the Diamond Factory, where like-minded people get together and start the day off on a positive note. And so I did some checking. I already know our phenomenal speaker is out there on the line, so I don't have to worry when I make this phenomenal introduction for some of you who know, some of you that don't. This is our own Coach Dan. He is a world-renowned motivational speaker. That's right. I said the world because he's always traveling. He's going to be here with us so far, hopefully, until March. And guys, he will be at our 5th-year anniversary. How could we do it without him? So without further ado, I want to unmute you. I'm unmuting you right now. Coach Dan, you want to take it away.
All right, all right. Great morning. I'm just Dan, y'all. I'm just Dan, and I'm just grateful that God has given me a position to empower people to live a better life all over the world, and it's a fun thing. I absolutely enjoy it, but I really enjoy being here with my Akana family. Phyllis, you are absolutely a stunning, amazing, fantabulous rock star in all that you do. And I don't believe that Akana could be where it is without the midwife helping so many people give birth to health, wealth, and legacy and freedom. So we salute you on this Valentine's Day, saying Merry Valentine's Day to you. And we thank you for all of your love. And we share the love. We share the love. I pray according to Ephesians that says that you being rooted and established in love may have power to grasp how wide and how long and how high deep is the love of God, and to know this love that will surpass all of your understanding, that you will be filled to the measure of all the fullness of God. That is my prayer for all of you on this day. But I am excited. I'm excited about this moment that we have here in the Diamond Factory, where we can huddle up with Coach Dan and just have some moment and dialogue to share. One of the things I understand when we're pushing, we're calling, we're making calls, we're pushing, we're always told that this game that we're in is a numbers game. And we heard Phyllis talk about on yesterday what Scott talked about in the training. You know, we don't want to overwhelm ourselves with I gotta do a lot. And so Scott gives this simple formula of going after two. And I understand that, and many of us that's on the line, you've been going after your two. But I've had some conversation with many of you that talks about the objections that you receive, talks about the no's that you receive. Now, I always tell you that a no is a good thing, it's not a bad thing. And if you go after 100 no's, you're going to wind up stumbling on quite a few yeses. And if the magic number is 2 to get you started, then the reality is your yes is inevitable. Let me say that again. If you're going after 100 no's, you're going to stumble on some yeses. And the truth of the matter is, those yeses will become inevitable because you're going to get better and better and better and better as you go after the 100 no's. The other thing about this, when you go after 100 no's, you don't struggle. You don't struggle with rejection. You don't get shut down with rejection. You actually celebrate. Yes, I got another no. Let me keep this going. I gotta keep my count up. I gotta get to my 100. And so you're excited because you have the activity. You're excited because the reality is, yes, you got rejected, but you actually accomplished the goal. Because the goal is to get to 100 no's. And on that journey, you're going to find your yeses. But what I want to do is I want to help some people today real quick. In 10 minutes, Coach Dan's going to try to help some of the things. I was in another training, and I was dealing with a team, and they were asking me about how to overcome objections, how to overcome the no's, how to get past the no's, how to turn a no to a yes. And so I want to share with you, I'm going to share a snapshot. It's going to be a brief snapshot of what I shared with this team, and I'm going to modify it a little bit to make certain that it is appropriate for our discussion this morning. But I want to share this because as we get ready for our 5th year anniversary, as we get ready for all of the things that we got going on, I want to make certain that you have some comfortability in navigating to overcome the no. So here we go. The first thing that you must do is you must listen actively. Listen actively. Your ears is your greatest asset, not your mouth. Your ears is your greatest asset, not your mouth. You want to allow the person speaking to voice their concerns. You want to allow them to voice their concerns, watch this, without interruption. Pay attention to what they're saying. Understand their perspective fully. So your goal is not just to listen to talk, but your goal is not just to listen to talk, but your goal is actually to listen so that they can tell you how to respond to them based on what they are saying. Number 2, you have to acknowledge their concerns. And you don't acknowledge their concerns, say, I hear you, but. That's not acknowledging their concerns. That's not acknowledging their concerns. You don't acknowledge their concerns by saying to them, your concerns are not valid, or that doesn't make sense, or that's not true. No, it's true to them. Even if it's not true, it's true. If it's not true, it's true. So in order to acknowledge your concerns, you have to show empathy. You have to show empathy. You have to show that you understand how they feel. And you can see why they feel that way. And then you got to let them know that you appreciate their honesty and their concerns. So it sounds very much so like this. You know, Susu, I want to first thank you for sharing. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for being honest, sharing your concerns. I really, really appreciate that. And I can understand how you feel, ... Then what you want to do is you want to say, however, I want to get some clarity. This is my 3rd point. You want to clarify the objection. So how do you clarify the objection? One of the things you do, you got to ask open-ended questions to allow them to dive deeper into the objection, right? And understand where it's really coming from. Where's this objection really coming from? And here's what you have to understand. The person that talks the most loses in this dialogue. The person that talks the most loses. The person that is talking the most is giving all of the information needed for you to be able to address them with a positive solution and or appropriate response. This is why when I teach about closing, don't get diarrhea at the mouth at the close. I've seen it happen. The person agreed. The person said, yes, I want to do it. And then in the process, they're overselling. The person that's selling is overselling, and they say something that triggers an objection, and you got to start the cycle all the way over again, and you may not get back to the yes. Once they tell you yes, your next thing is to give them directions on how to complete the transaction. I'm sorry, that was a balloon that I floated because of something that I tell. So I just want to help y'all understand the close, right? So number 1, listen actively. Number 2, acknowledge their concerns. Number 3, clarify the objections. Number 4, I need you to be able to provide relevant information. Meaning you have to be able to offer information or some form of body of evidence that will address their specific objection. How can you do this? You could do it, number 1, through testimonials. You could, depending on who you're talking to, you could do it, number 2, with some case studies. You could do it with data. You could do it with all of these different things based on the information and the knowledge that you have, which brings me to this point under number 4, providing relevant information. If you're operating in a role as a consultant, you're operating in a role as a consultant. That means you are a professional. Many of you have now gone through the process where you're calling yourselves health and wellness coaches, which means you have to know your stuff. Because if you don't know your stuff, what you don't know will show up. In the conversation, if you don't know what you don't know will show up in the conversation. And you'll find yourself stuttering, you'll find yourself going all talking in circles and all of those things because you're not ready, you're not informed. So if you're going to be able to overcome objections, you're going to have to be able to provide relevant information. Now, with every objection, there should be an opposite, right? And so what we want to do is find that opposite from a beneficial standpoint. You want to be able to, and this you should have gotten through your consultative selling when you were asking questions earlier on before you got to the objection. When you did your research on the customer or the potential business builder that you were talking to, right? You want to highlight these benefits, emphasize the benefits of how what you have is a solution to a problem that they have. That's how you highlight the benefit. You don't highlight the benefit by just saying what's on a brochure. You don't highlight the benefit by just saying what's on a website. You highlight the benefit by addressing how our product, our service, our movement can help solve a problem that they have already identified they have in their life. Whether that problem is health, if it's a health problem, whether it's a money problem, you want to make certain that you highlight the benefits that specifically addresses and solve their problem. Number 6. Here's something I really want you to lock into. Address the objections proactively. Now, how do you do this? One of the things you must understand is there's a principle that says that there's nothing new under the sun. So if this person rejects this because of that, there's more likely than not, there's 10 other people that's going to reject this because of that. So what you want to do is you want to start building what I call your SCO list. What is your SCO list? I'm glad you asked. The SCO list is your standard client objections list. And so you want to begin to write what you hear the most down. And so that way you'll begin to develop a response to overcome that objection. And you develop that response, number 1, by how you overcame it with the first person or the second person or third person that gave it to you. Number 2, you connect with your sponsor. You ask them the question. Number 3, you can always connect with myself, ask me the question, or whatever the case may be, and we can help to overcome. And you begin to jot those answers down, commit to those answers. So now you're able to do number 6, which is to address objections proactively. You'll be able to anticipate common objections, and you'll be able to address them, watch this, before they even bring them up. I always use this analogy in various instances. Eminem, here's a fun fact for Coach Dan, Pastor Dan, in quotation. Eminem is one of my favorite, if not my favorite hip hop artist of all time. I don't know, I like the guy. And so I try to listen to when I was listening to it, I listened to the edited version. But in the movie, The 8 Mile, he was in a battle. And what he did in the battle, a rap battle, what he did was he went ahead of his opponent, anticipated everything that his opponent was going to say about him, and he said it for him. So by the time he finished, it was nothing left for the opponent to say, and subsequently he lost, and Eminem won. And what I'm saying to you is that you want to be able to address common objectives proactively. For example, what does that look like? So while you're talking to your person and you're saying to the person, you know, let's say you're selling them a pack, and it is over $1,000 some odd dollars. You say the way you overcome that in casual conversation, it's called embedded messaging. You simply say, you know, what many have found initially at the first hearing of what the investment was going to be, they kind of pull back, because a lot of times when people are considering our business, they're considering our business because they need to make more money. And what they found is that it was actually an investment. So whereby they may invest $1,000, $1,700, the average return on that investment was 60 to 70%. Meaning, if they invested $1,000, they may have gotten 1,600 back, or what have you. So this definitely has been what we found from those that have participated, that this has been the best starting point for them to begin to bring more money into their household. So what I just did was I just anticipated them saying it costs too much. Or, you know, you embed a testimonial of somebody that says, you know what, I don't have time to do all of the things that you guys are saying I need to do to lose weight. I don't have time for that, this, that, and the other. And what you can say is, you know what we have many testimonials, and this is before they say it. You know, we had this one lady, she's a CEO of a company, she's busy, she's flying all over the place, and she really saw the need, just like you do, to go through the 21-day detox. She really saw that need, just like you see it. But she really didn't feel like she had the time to go through the process. And so, but what she decided to do was to go through our 7-day detox. And then when she saw how easy the 7-day detox was, and saw how that she could incorporate in her schedule, she immediately moved to the 21. Now, 3 months later, 90 days later, she's down 22 pounds or what have you. So what did I do? I overcame, I don't have time to detox rejection because I'm traveling. Overcame. Number 7, I got to get out of here. I'm going to just run through this. When you're overcoming objections, what you want to do is use storytelling. You want to use relevant stories that speaks to their concerns. In that storytelling, it can be very persuasive and help them to visualize themselves in the moment. Again, you're not just telling stories for telling stories. Number 8, you want to offer alternatives. Now, how do you offer alternatives? How do you do this? Here's how you're going to do it. So they're giving you the objection because of this, that, and the other. So what you want to do first and foremost is you want to cause them to reconnect back to the value that they see. Because sometimes they've already shown value. They've already shown interest. They've already seen how it can be beneficial, but what they're looking for is how can they overcome this one objection. So you want to reconnect them back to the benefits that they have already identified if they was to partner with you. And then once you connect them back and reinforce that, and I would say a lot more, but I know I'm past my time. Once you go back to reinforce that, then you provide an alternative solution that neutralizes the objection, but allows them to continue to receive the benefit. I hope this is making sense to you. Number 9, you also want to build trust. Build trust. Reassure them of your credibility, reliability. Reassure them of the fact that you wouldn't do this if you didn't believe in it. Use stuff like this. I'm not only the president, but I'm also a client. You know, you want to let them know from your personal experience. That's when you do that. And then lastly, you want to close with confidence. Once you've overcame that objection, once you've gotten them to say, yes, they understand. And once you've gotten them to see it from a different perspective, the next thing you do is you transition very smoothly, very quickly to the close, and you guide them towards how to start this journey to a healthier and a wealthier and a better life. Listen, I'm not done. I could have kept going, but I'm going to close it out right there. Thank you for allowing me to steal a little bit more 5 minutes. Yesterday, Miss Phyllis jumped off early, so I borrowed her 5 minutes from yesterday so that I can use it for today. I want y'all to have a supernaturally wonderful, wonderful day. Until next time, as always, prosper. Back to you, Miss Phyllis.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. 5 minutes. Well used, guys. Well, this is Wednesday. We want to know that Coach Dan laid down the marching orders, gave you some reasons, gave you some steps, told you how to overcome objections, told you how to listen first without speaking, just gave so many nuggets this morning. Just now it's time to go and apply. And guys, for all of you guys that are celebrating Valentine's Day, make sure you do. Make sure it's, hey, for some of you all, celebrate the gift of health. That's right, because we're scanning and presenting and elevating, having elevating experiences here tonight at the dispensary, 6 p.m. sharp, guys. We start the presentation maybe 6:10, no later. We get that presentation kicked off. So make sure if your guests are coming that they're on time so they can experience the awakening of the senses and participate in the elevation experience. It's Wednesday. See you there and around the country. If you have events, if you're going out, just enjoy yourself and continue to create great memories. Thank you so much, Coach Dan, Pastor Dan. Thank you for leading us, taking us where we need to go. And now, with that being said, guys, just go out and push. Having a kind of day. Bye.